Effective immediately, the federal mask mandate is lifted. You don't have to wear masks on Delta, American, Southwest, or Alaska Airlines. Cruise terminals are no longer subject to mask restrictions, except at the discretion of a cruise line. The masks are off. No more masks! Hey, welcome to the Midships YouTube channel. I'm your Captain Corey, and thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. Just want to make sure I'm in focus. I literally have had to record this 3 times because I've been out of focus. And wow, do we have big news to share today. Everything from the end of the federal mask mandate for travel to the suspension of the search for the man who went overboard on the Carnival Mardi Gras this past weekend. And we need to talk about a new rule that goes into effect today to protect you from the cruise lines taking all your money. But first, we're going to start with a question of the day, and let's keep it pertinent. Will you still wear a mask at embarkation for your next cruise, even if it's not required by law? Comment your answer down below this video. And while you're down there, there's a button that looks kind of like this. Yeah, it's like a big thumbs up. Yeah, it's really lonely and it wishes you just click on it or tap on it right now. It's the best way to tell YouTube that this is a good video and other cruisers should watch it. Now, let's get into this big story coming out from the CDC. They've officially released a statement reacting to the fact that a judge has struck down the federal mask mandate from the Centers for Disease Control. Now, their opinion from the CDC is as follows. They say, as a result of a court order, effective immediately April 18th, the CDC order requiring masks on public transportation or at transportation hubs, are you listening? Which is the important part for cruising, the order will no longer be in effect. Therefore, the CDC will not enforce the order at all. And there you go, black and white as plain as day. Yeah, I got a second camera today, get excited. We're just trying things out. I don't know, could be a lot of work for me. Just stay tuned. So the CDC is no longer going to be requiring anyone, be it passengers on planes, trains, buses, or cruise ships, at the terminal or on board, to wear a mask. So I know many of you out there were really excited to get rid of the masks on board cruise ships, which means you're probably also really excited to have them gone in the cruise terminal. But for those of you who are more hesitant or a little more cautious about this policy change, remember there's nothing out there that says you can't still wear a mask wherever you'd like. So if it makes you feel more comfortable or it's medically necessary, still wear that mask. But it is great to have more options, kind of like Burger King, right? Have it your way. Now, with that said, no cruise line has come out to say, all right, you don't need your mask anymore at embarkation. So remember, you still need to bring it for your next cruise. At this point, we haven't heard anybody talk about it. And it's actually kind of interesting to think about when the first cruise line or two may come out and say, well, you can try taking the masks off at embarkation. I've got a cruise in like 5 days. Yeah, I've been hiding one from you. And I'm going to see if there's masks or no masks in the terminal when I get there. It's on, should I just tell you what it is? Okay, why don't I just announce it here. I'm cruising 5 days from now on the MSC Divina. I found this itinerary that has 2 days at their private island, Ocean Key Marine Reserve. It's like one of my favorite places. You all should know that by now. And I couldn't pass it up at the price. So I'll be taking you along with me, and it's going to be a good time. Maybe we should do a sail away live stream. Yeah, I'll get that on the books for you. Now, I've done some digging around to other cruise brands, Carnival in particular. Their brand ambassador, John Heald, very active on Facebook with announcements and news. He says, as of right now, Carnival has no intention to remove the mask requirement for embarkation, but stay tuned because things can and will change quickly. And as soon as Carnival makes a decision, he'll announce it on his Facebook page. It's a really good resource for all of you Carnival cruisers. As far as Royal Caribbean's concerned, I haven't heard anything from them. And I did do some digging on MSC's website, and it says, clear as day, masks are required in the terminal. So remember to still bring it with you when you cruise. And it's also important to note that at any time during your cruise, if the cruise line determines they want everyone in their masks on board, maybe because there's an outbreak going on or they just don't know what's going on, it's totally within their purview to require you to put masks on. You're kind of at the cruise line's beck and call, even though you paid to be there, remember. But how does this pertain to getting to your cruise? Well, you might not have heard it in the intro because I was wearing a mask, but there's actually several airlines that came out immediately and said they're doing away with this mask mandate for travel. I listed them earlier, but here they are again. Delta, American, United, Southwest, and not Southwest, and Alaska Airlines. Okay, they've already said no more masks. There's people flying right this very second, maybe watching this video on a plane without a mask. If this excites you, congratulations, it's a good day for you. And speaking of a good day for you, check this one out. Whoa, hang on a second, Corey here, and yes, I am still out by the trash can, and yes, I'm in an echoey corner, and yes, I'm also filming with a selfie stick. But I want to take a quick break to remind you, I have a group cruise coming up. We're leaving out of Charleston, South Carolina on the Carnival Sunshine, October 24th. If you'd like more info on how you can cruise along with me for 5 nights in the Caribbean, there's a link to the group's Facebook page in the description below this video. That lizard scared the crap out of me. Also, if you want to get more information on where you can support this channel further and my work, why don't you check out the Midships merch store. Also a link down below. Thanks so much. Now let's get back to the cruise news. Oh, and one more quick thing about this mask mandate topic. It literally just came across my desk and I refilmed this episode because of it. The Department of Justice is appealing this federal ruling that dropped the mask mandates on public transit. So basically, they're going to leave it up to the CDC to determine if it's important enough to keep this mandate. The Justice Department says they believe the federal mask mandate was valid and it was a valid exercise of their authority to put it in place to protect public health. They went on to say that it's important that they have the authority to put something like this in place and they're going to work to preserve it. So there you go. Everything is still up in limbo with masks at the cruise terminal. Maybe I should go dig that one out of the trash can. I gotta have some more laying around somewhere. It's a pandemic. Okay, we've got a serious thing to talk about now. A lot of you have been following this story about the man who went overboard Carnival Mardi Gras this past weekend. It happened 50 to 60 miles offshore from Port Canaveral near Melbourne, Florida, which is just a little south. Well, the Coast Guard got involved, a couple of Carnival ships got involved in the search, and the Coast Guard has identified this missing person as 43-year-old Tang Tran. So obviously, our thoughts and our prayers go out to Mr. Tran's family. We need to have some humanity, but we still do need to report on this. Unfortunately, we've reported on this kind of thing way too often in the past few months. So hopefully this is the last story like this that we're going to talk about for quite some time. Now, we need to move on to another story, and this is one we reported on here like 6 months or so ago on this channel. There was a consumer protection package that was being drafted in response to all the canceled cruises that occurred because of the pandemic. And it centers around the cruise line's responsibility to provide refunds to cruise passengers who were not able to cruise because the cruise didn't happen. As most of you know, during the pandemic, the cruise lines tried to hold on to as much of your money as they could by offering you future cruise credit and additional credits on top of that. It helped keep them liquid and being able to operate, right? It made financial sense, but you basically gave them a free loan. Well, not free, you got cruise credit, but whatever, if you let the cruise line keep your money throughout the pandemic. Well, fast forward to today, officially now in place are new consumer protections for you if your cruise doesn't happen, right? If totally canceled. There's some words that we need to talk about that are very specific. But to answer probably the most common question, this is not a refund if the cruise line changes your ports, but you still cruise. All right. So this new policy comes out from the Federal Maritime Commission, and it's the first time we've seen a policy change like this since the 1800s. Like, we're talking before the Titanic sank. Like, Rose was still holding on saying, "I'll never let you go, Jack." Okay, that's fake. Basically, this is all going to center around a term called non-performance, which is defined as a cruise operator canceling or delaying a voyage by 3 or more calendar days. So there you go. Non-performance is what has to happen before you get this protection. If a cruise line fails to perform as promised, any passengers booked on that cruise are now entitled to a full refund of any money they paid, including any ancillary fees. Cruise lines are now also required to publish clear instructions on their websites as to how you can obtain a refund for a canceled cruise. The new rules, sadly, they're not retroactive, so they only apply to cruises after today. You know I'm doing a giveaway, right? I make my own custom t-shirts and I sell them through the Midships merch store. We talked about it earlier. Well, one of you lucky viewers out there, you have to be a subscriber, is going to be able to win your choice of any design from that store printed on a tee or a tank from the merch store. If you'd like to get entered to win, here's a link. There's also one down in the description below. Just watch the video. About 5 minutes in, it tells you how you get entered. And if you made it this far into today's episode, thank you so very much for watching all the way through. Hopefully you're enjoying the new format. If you have any feedback, I would love to hear from you. This new camera setup, we'll try things out. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel today. And until tomorrow, we'll see ya on the Midships. I gotta go pack for a cruise. Maybe I'll put on my captain's hat. Yes, it's stuffed to give it volume. Davina, here we come. La